Module 3, Perception and Choice. Perception is the way we see everything around us. Our response in daily life depends on our understanding. It involves both recognizing environmental stimuli and acting in response to those stimuli. Through perception, we acquire information about the environment necessary for our survival. Perception creates our experience of the world around us. It allows us to work in our environment. It has a significant impact on our emotional state and our behavior. Depending on individual thinking, individuals can have the same experience but with different results. Perception and stress. How we perceive or interpret events causes us to feel stress. The perception or interpretation of an event is what initiates the fight-or-flight response. The event itself is not actually what drives us to experience anxiety. If you think your stress significantly impacts your health, it likely is. The world itself is not a stressful place. No event in life is inherently stressful. Instead, we interpret events as stressful. Preventing unnecessary stress will promote health, improve quality of life, and prevent disease. Perception or interpretation is the first step towards stress response activation. Changing how we interpret events can prevent the stress response from activating. Cognition is a mental process that consists of thinking and reasoning skills is called cognition. Our interpretation of a stressor is a cognitive appraisal. Cognitive distortion is defined as the process in which perceptions become magnified out of proportion to their seriousness. Cognitive processes include attention, language, learning, memory, perception, thought. Cognitive restructuring refers to the mental act of changing the meaning or our interpretation of the environmental stressors in life. It is also called reframing. Cognitive psychology is a rapidly growing field that continues to increase our understanding of the many effects of mental processes on our health and daily lives. It touches many aspects of daily life. Cognition psychology has numerous practical applications. Thus, we can use this field by helping with memory impairments, making better decisions, recovering from brain injury, treating learning disabilities, and designing educational curricula to enhance learning. Hardiness. A hardy individual views potentially stressful events as exciting and meaningful. A hardy person sees change as expected and an opportunity for growth or challenge, and sees himself or herself as capable of influencing events. Commitment. A committed person turns problems into opportunities. Finding meaning and purpose through life-changing experiences affects perception and ultimately the quality of life. Challenge. Individuals who view change as a challenge rather than a threat either resist and fear change or embrace it and see new opportunities for growth. Culture connection. Fear of failure. If you fear failure, you are under constant, slow-burning stress that can deplete your energy and corrode your health. If you can learn to see your failures as opportunities to learn and grow, the danger is gone and stress evaporates. Control. Believe that you can directly impact a situation. There are some things in life over which we have no control. Self-limiting beliefs. We often have much greater control than we realize. This will help to overcome stressful conditions. Premature cognitive commitments. We commit prematurely to an inaccurate belief about ourselves. When highly motivated, we can take control and prevent the events from initiating the stress response. Locus of control. The extent to which we believe we control events that affect us. People with an internal locus of control see themselves as responsible for the outcomes of their actions. Also, people with an external locus of control believe that whatever happens to them is unrelated to their behavior, making it beyond their control. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is the belief in our ability to accomplish a goal or change behavior. Norman Vincent Peale's Power of Positive Thinking phenomenon. Dr. Peale illustrates the power of positive thinking and faith in action. It includes the following ideas. You can have control over your life. You can get farther in life if you have a hopeful outlook. You can create your luck. The only person who can change you is you. Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Be kind to yourself. Expect the best and get it. Cognitive thinking is humans' mental process to think, read, learn, remember, reason, pay attention, and ultimately understand and transform information into knowledge. Humans can then turn this knowledge into decisions and actions. Cognitive thinking techniques can transform stress-producing thought patterns into thought patterns that prevent stress. Cognitive distortion occurs when thoughts are magnified out of proportion to their seriousness, resulting in excess stress. Some of the cognitive distortions are given below: all or nothing thinking, personalizing, discounting the positive, assuming the worst, pessimism, or awfulizing. Cognitive therapy focuses on cognitive distortions and relearning thought processes to alter negative emotions, raise self-esteem, and gain hope for the future. Thus, cognitive behavior therapy can help one manage the way one thinks and behaves, treats anxiety, depression, and other mental health problems. Thinking errors. Albert Ellis identified 12 irrational ideas or thinking errors to be avoided. 1. Everyone must love me and everyone must approve of everything I do. 2. Certain acts are awful or wicked and people who perform such actions should be severely punished. 3. It is horrible when things are not how I like them to be. 4. Human misery and unhappiness are always externally caused and are forced on me by outside people and events. 5. If something is or may be dangerous or fearsome, I should be upset and endlessly obsess about it. 6. Avoiding difficulties and responsibilities in life is more straightforward than facing them. 7. I need something or someone more robust or significant than me on whom I must rely to succeed. 8. I should be competent, intelligent, and achieving in all possible respects. 9. Because something once strongly affected my life in the past, it must determine my present and future behavior. The influence of the past cannot be overcome. 10. I must have specific and perfect control over things. 11. Human happiness can be achieved by inertia and inaction. 12. I have virtually no control over my emotions. I am their victim and cannot do anything about how I feel when things happen. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can effectively treat phobias and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Intensive CBT may also be effective for post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Thus, we can treat phobias of the water, darkness, injection, etc. through CBT. This therapy can improve PTSD symptoms over a shorter period and significantly reduce depression. Cognitive techniques include positive self-talk. Self-talk describes the messages you send yourself. Negative self-talk is habitual, mainly, while positive self-talk can improve self-esteem and eliminate the chronic nagging stress that destroys people from the inside out. Thus, whenever you feel stressed or anxious, try to say positive words to yourself. Thought stopping. Stopping negative thoughts when they enter your stream of consciousness. The outcome of positive self-talk and thought stopping is learned optimism. Power language. The words you use to describe your emotions will have a noticeable effect on how you feel. Change how you feel by changing the words you use. Going with the flow. Accept conditions we cannot change. Ryan Pitzinger, a lifetime surfer, surveyed 107 surfers. After a 30-minute surfing session, positivity and tranquility increased significantly, while negative mood and fatigue decreased. Thus, using a suffering session for 30 minutes can help you feel positive and feel free from signs of stress, such as fatigue and negative mood. Underlying theories and practices. Conditioned response. Whenever we face some event around us, we respond in a particular way. According to experts, people are conditioned to a large extent. Some patterns of behavior serve us well, and others do not serve us quite so well. The good news is that if we have learned to respond in a certain way to something that happens, we can unlearn it. Thus, we can manage our way of responding according to your desires. The most common ineffective methods of response to uncontrolled events include attachment or rightness, clutching emotionally to ideas, concepts, or situations, and getting disappointed when our expectations aren't met. For example, when we work hard for the exam and expect an A but instead receive a B, We may blame the exam, the materials, or whatever else is handy, convincing ourselves that there could not possibly have been a flaw in our preparation techniques, and thus blaming uncontrollable circumstances. Judgment, criticism, blaming. Putting a label on something and then trying to make that label the reality. Effective methods of response include observation. Notice what is going on. For example, understanding the mistakes that we made in exams. Discovery. Observe and seek to understand. Allowance and acceptance. Emotionally embrace the way things are. Gratitude. Be thankful for the opportunity to experience the moment. Practical problems relate to things that result in feelings of being treated unfairly by others or being in undesirable situations. For example, sometimes we work hard but don't achieve the results of unfair treatment of others. Emotional problems are caused by emotional reactions to practical problems. For example, stress due to unfair treatment of other people. How can we control and minimize emotional suffering? Take responsibility for your emotional upsets and distress. Keep in mind that you can control your feelings, thus never feel stressed when the situation is not in your favor. Thus, when a teacher gives you an assignment, never feel stressed. Instead, control your emotions and do your best. Identify your musts. Always understand your responsibility to minimize suffering. For example, work hard to achieve your goals. Determine whether your musts are realistic. Look at some musts are merely preferences.